Well, hello there, friends and family. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Renee, and I am so happy that you are here today. So I have been remiss in making my videos over the past couple of weeks. It is summer. I know I should have time to film the videos, but I have been cross-stitching my little arms off and writing postcards, which you're going to be able to see today. But it's just been busy, and I wanted to take the time to enjoy the summer. Classes go back in on the 24th. Today is the 10th as I am writing this, or not writing this, as I am recording this. I say writing this because this morning I had a marathon postcard writing session where I wrote, I think it was 12 postcards. And so, yeah. But anyway, what I wanted to do is I'm going to split apart my video, because if I record all of my hobbies, my post-crossing, my cross stitch, my sewing, and everything, the video is going to be very, very long. So what I decided to do today was just to record my post-crossing in this video, and then I'm going to record a completely separate video that has my cross stitch and my sewing and all of that. And I hope you'll be okay with that. I may do that going forward because I think I've got a couple of different sets of people who enjoy watching my videos. I've got those that have been longtime viewers that are all about the postcards, and then I have new viewers who are all about the cross stitch, and then I actually have a mix of both of you, so then you get two videos out of me. So anyway, let's get started with all of the post-crossing that I've got. And again, it's been a month, and when I am on summer break, I have the ability to write more postcards. And I want you to see this is just the official post-crossing that I have from this month. It used all of my little tags. I have not even included, but I'm going to, in this stack, postcards from friends, postcards from my round robin, and also the direct swaps that I've been involved in. Let's get started. These are in no particular order, and I am going to not only share with you the postcard, but also the stamps. And we are going to start with Japan. This one comes from Rena in Japan, and I love recycled food packaging. Now, this is a dinner that she says it's kind of a sushi rice. She calls it a shirashi sushi, a bowl of sushi rice topped with a colorful variety of ingredients like raw fish, egg, and vegetables. But the reason that I like recycled food packaging is because it recycles it. It gives it a second use. It wasn't a one-use product. So if you want to send me postcards that are recycled food packaging, I love them. Keep them coming. And then here are the stamps for that postcard. So thank you, Rena. The next card comes from Germany, from Anna in Germany, and it is stylized flowers. I love this one so much. I love this idea of stylized objects. And Anna is currently sitting on the terrace with her cat enjoying the evening sun. And that sounds perfect, except that it is almost 100 degrees here today, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which comes out to about 37 degrees or so of Celsius. It is hot. And here are the stamps. The next card is from Jasmine in Germany, And she is 17 years old, likes reading books, has 2 cats, and still goes to school. She had made a recent trip to Berlin where she picked up this postcard. I love multi-view postcards as well. And let me share with you the stamp. So thank you so much, Jasmine. Achman from Germany sends me the next postcard, and I thought this was such an unusual train. It is suspended, and I don't think we have anything like that here in North America. I could be completely wrong, but I am not sure. At first I was thinking to myself, oh, like at Disney where you've got the trams there, but no, those aren't. They are not suspended. Anyway, I love this card, and I loved the stamp. I thought it was really cute. So thank you so much for that. The next card came in an envelope, and it is a handmade card, and I love handmade cards so much. And it is actually a letter that she has written to me. I'm not opposed to that, but she is in the Netherlands and is talking about her dog when she lived in Curaçao. So thank you so much for handmade cards. Love every one of them. And speaking of handmade cards, this next one comes in as well from Germany, and it is a handmade card as well. This is a photograph attached to a card, and this is from Jeanette. And Jeanette says this postcard shows the island of Pole where her parents live, but she does not. And I just thought it was beautiful. So thank you for that, Jeanette. The next card comes from Slovakia, and it is an amazing asteroid postcard. I love that. You know, I'm a science girl. I love my science. And there is the stamp for you. The next card comes from Germany, and she made this card herself. And it's all about the ice cream. I love ice cream cones. And look at that cool stamp. Very awesome. So thank you for that card. Cesar in Japan, Hong Kong, sends the next postcard. And it's a meetup postcard. And here are the stamps and the people who were at that meetup. So thank you, Cesar. Edmondo sends me the next card, and this comes from Latvia. Love that. Isn't that a gorgeous building? And there is the stamp. The next card comes from Akiro in Japan, and it is a ceremony. Very gorgeous. And the stamps. The next card comes from Germany, and I couldn't read their name. What do you do when you can't read somebody's name and you're sending the little message? Like, I just write, hello, Postcrossing friend. I hope that's sufficient. But if I can't read the name, I don't know what to do. So that's what I do. But this is, look at this. Isn't this lovely? I could be sitting there right now. It's just gorgeous. And there are all of the stamps. The next card comes from Savino, and Savino sends this awesome postcard. Now this is actually their backyard, and this is from Italy, I should say, from Italy, and this is from their backyard. They said there's been a couple of changes since they took this photo, but I love the idea of the table underneath the tree. One of the things I want to do here in my house is plant more trees in my backyard. I used to have a really big oak tree, but it got termites. And when I was having it serviced, right, to cut off the limbs, the guy brought me outside and he said, "Hey Renee, I just want to show you this, and you know, we can keep up doing this, but this tree is going to come down. You might want to consider taking it down rather than having it come down on your house or something." So we quickly modified that and had that tree taken down. It was a big, huge oak tree, and it was years ago, and I still miss it. But there's the stamp for you. So thank you for that card. Peter in Australia sends the next card, and it's a Bluey card. And I love that, of course, because of Haven. Did you know that the creators of Bluey use colors that dogs can see? And that way, a lot of people, they leave Bluey cartoons on for their dogs when they go to work. I think that's hilarious. But how, you know, forward thinking of the creators of Bluey to be able to do that. And this just has the prepaid. So thank you for that, Peter. I appreciate that. The next card comes from Russia. Now we have started to be able to swap postcards again with Russia. We've always been able to receive them, but haven't been able to send them. So now we're able to send again to Russia. So I have sent off a couple to Russia so far, but look at this lovely scene here. Sorry, I've got the hiccups. I've been having the hiccups over the past couple of days off and on. So I love that so much. And it is just the standard Russian stamps, but very cool. Thank you. Stefan in Germany sends me the next card, and look at that strawberry gnome, or I think Julie calls them gonks, but either way they are absolutely adorable. And let me share with you the stamps. So thank you for that card, Stefan. Kathin sends me the next card from Germany, and this is Whales of the Pacific Northwest. And you say, wait a minute, that's not in Germany. No, that is around Oregon and Seattle. That's the Pacific Northwest. But she had just made a trip there and picked up this card, and then I'm the lucky recipient of it. Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing this amazing card with me. I love whales. So much so that a couple of years ago, I went and did a week-long trip to Mexico where I actually got to pet a gray whale. It was amazing. The next card is a very rare postcard in that it comes from Montenegro. The number on this, and I'm going to go ahead and show you this. The number, look at that. How low the number is from Montenegro. Here is the postcard, a map. I love this so much. I love map postcards. For a while with my geology degree, I thought about being a cartographer, a map maker. But alas, paleontology won out. The next card comes from Lois and India. Look at this scene. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it so much. And there is the stamp for you. India is high on my list of travel places. I just got to get my house paid off first. The next card comes from Ralph in Great Britain. Look at the Queen. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love this card so much. This is from Scotland. And of course, Scotland was probably her most favorite place to stay. But look at those robes. Oh, well, that'll keep you warm. Oh, Scotland is very high on my list as well. The only places that I have not been in Great Britain are Scotland and Wales, and I want to go to both. And we have the King Charles stamp on there. I miss the Queen. I really do. That tiara, I don't know if you can see it, but that's emeralds in that tiara. Emeralds are probably my most favorite stone. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous. The next card also comes from Russia. This comes from Alina in Russia, and this was her very first postcard to send. And when I registered it, this was the first postcard that had been received. I love this. It's a couple on the beach. And let me share with you the stamps on this. So thank you so much for that card, and welcome to Postcrossing. The next card comes from Serbia. I'm telling you, I've had a great number of amazing postcards, and it is an underwater scene. It is a drawn and illustrated scene from underwater. We've got the squids, a sea cucumber right here, a jellyfish, we've got starfish down here, the corals. So many amazing things. And let me share with you the stamps. Love that. The next card comes from Johann in Germany, and it is for anti-stress. I love that. I'm not stressed yet for school coming up. I start a professional development class tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. You've in the past met my friend Laura. She's going as well. And there is the stamp. The next card comes from China, and I could not read the name on this one either, but it's because the United States puts a barcode over the top, and I couldn't read through the barcode. But just let me share the postcard. And then the stamps. And then just so you can see, this is what happens, is that they put this barcode over the top and you just can't read through it. So thank you for that card. The next card comes from Singapore, and it is Hershey's. This is a piece of paper. Sometimes I'm curious how something so thin makes it. It's amazing, isn't it? There's the stamp, and they even drew me a picture down at the bottom. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. The next card comes from France, and look at that scene. Gorgeous. This one comes from Chantal. And I'm not going to show you the back of this postcard, the stamp, because I have another one from France, and I'll show you the stamp on here. But look at this amazing whale. This one comes from Stephanie in France. But the other stamp was marked up, but it's the same exact stamp. So there's that one. And then the last one that I have, this one comes from Austria. I always have to think. AT. And it's butterflies. Very cool. And let me show you those stamps. That was a lot. And those are my official postcards. Now let me share with you the round robin. I don't share the stamps on this because it's typically just the United States postcard stamps. But the first one is Christmas in July. Look at Santa. I'm sure having a wonderful time. Don't get too sunburned there, Santa. Sarah sends the next one, the vain but realistic queen. I'll bring it in case you want to read that. The next card comes from Jessie, and it is a wonderful setting. My theme for the month was reflect, and you can see reflections in the mirror. Karen sends the next one, another one for my reflect theme. Tatiana sends the next one for my reflect theme. I think that the reflection of city skylines in water are just amazing. I love them so much. The next card comes from, I can't remember her name offhand. Anyway, isn't it adorable? And again, for my reflect theme. Lawrence sends the next postcard, and it is a glittery postcard, and it is 2 elephants. Oh my gosh, aren't they amazing? Now, I'm not certain, like this one has the deckled edges of a Tausendchen card, but you know, Tausendchen cards usually say Tausendchen on them, and I don't see that, and I'm not certain. So I'm going to have to look that one up. I should have done that already, and I didn't. I was being lazy. Terry sends the next card, and again, it's a reflect, and this is the infamous pool in front of, you know, the Lincoln Memorial, the the reflecting pool that has had some issues. Let's just say, because of a tiny single-celled organism. And I don't mean the algae. Lauren sends the next postcard. And this one is, so she sent this because I love royal things that are royal and things like that. And she said that this just reminded her of royalty. And I love that idea. My postcard theme this month is teach. So then JC sends the next one. It is my birthday coming up, and so she sent me a birthday card. Susan sends the next card, and teach. She is teaching her granddaughter how to sew. This is not her granddaughter, but she's teaching her granddaughter to sew. And what a fantastic lifelong skill that will be for her granddaughter. Karen sends the next one for teach, and this is from one of the national parks that is near her. And she said that every one of the cabins had a different docent inside that taught them about what happened inside that cabin. And I thought, that's a great take on my teach theme. Renee sends the next postcard, and it is to teach me how to make these creamy chicken enchiladas. Funny enough, I had made enchiladas the night that I received this postcard, and they were not the same kind of enchiladas, but the recipe is on the back. Michelle sends the next postcard, and it is also teaching me how to make lemon bars, and now I want lemon bars. Jen sends the next card, and it is from the Seattle Aquarium. Look at that amazing octopus. If you have never read The Soul of an Octopus by Cy Montgomery, it is one of my all-time favorite books. Please check it out. It is beautifully written. It is nonfiction, but it is written in such a way that it is not scientific, if you will. It is fantastic. If you've read the book or seen the movie about Remarkably Bright Creatures, at the end of Remarkably Bright Creatures in the book, because I read that book, but at the end, she gives the books that influenced her when she was writing that book, and Soul of an Octopus by Cy Montgomery was one of those. And so that's how I happened to pick that up, and it ended up being one of my all-time favorite books. So Leslie sends the next postcard, and isn't that a wonderful idea? Oh, with a teacup and the beautiful flowers and writing a letter. I saw who did that? That was the Today Show, that they just put out a video. It's on YouTube that you can watch, and it's like 2.5 minutes long, about how letter writing is making a comeback. And I agree with that. I think that's fantastic. The next few postcards are ones that come from friends that live here, that I hang out with all the time. So the first one comes from Laura. Laura is from Spain, and she went home for a month. And so this is from the Camino. She knows how much I love the Camino. I have been to Spain and met her in Santiago de Compostela, along with her parents. I love her parents so much. Oh my gosh, they are amazing. But anyway, in my video about sewing, I'm going to show you something else that Laura brought me back that is Camino related. And so I walked part of the Camino while I was there. I'm going to go back and walk the Camino again. But this card was from Laura. And then my other pair of friends, they have a second home in Gulfport, Florida. So they happened to go into a gift shop and found these wooden postcards from Gulfport. And so Catherine was telling me that she bought the first one, and I sent her a message and I said, oh my gosh, I received your postcard today. I think that wooden postcards are amazing and we don't see them very often and everything. So she went back and she bought all of the postcards and sent me one every couple of days of these wooden postcards. Wasn't that amazingly thoughtful of her? Ah, I love that. And then the last one, she actually got home before this postcard arrived. And she wrote that on the back. She said, I'll be home before you get this, but I wanted to send you this last one. So yeah, I got an entire series of 5 wooden postcards. Love that so much. So the last set of postcards that I'm going to share with you, these are postcards that are from direct swaps. Many of them are from the Unicorn Gang. If you don't know what the Unicorn Gang is, there are 8 of us in the Unicorn Gang. The grand poobah of the Unicorn Gang is Jilly B, living her life her way. And she sent this postcard one day with a unicorn on it, and there was a sticker that said Unicorn Gang, and I said, you know, that's a gang I could definitely be a part of. And that's how the gang started, and there were 4 of us in the gang to begin with, and then we added 4 more last year, so now we are a herd of 8. And our whole goal is just to spread joy all around the world, through Postcrossing, and to spread joy to each other as well. We have established great friendships, and yeah, it's a wonderful group to belong to. I don't know when we'll be opening up the postcards Unicorn Gang again, but keep an eye out on this channel if that's something that you would be interested in. We would love to have you, but we do keep it very minimal when we open it up. But let me show you the postcards that I've received from these direct swaps. So the first one comes from Olia, and Olia is a member of the Unicorn Gang. She was one of the second group that came in. And so this, of course, is a manta ray. And I love this so much. So thank you, Olia. And Olia has the most amazing decorating skills. I know she practices a lot for her handwriting, but just amazing. The next card comes from Blue in France, and Blue goes to a lot of meetups, and so I was lucky enough to receive this meetup card. Look at that fox. Isn't that amazing? I love this so much. And Blue just always sends me these, and I just love them. So thank you so much, Blue. I forgot to mention with Olia's postcard, she is a member of the Unicorn Gang. She has a channel called In Postcards, and it's linked down below. So I hope you'll go check her out because she does all kinds of fantastic stuff. Rob, who is that dad guy, sent me this postcard, and Rob is one of the original 4 of the Unicorn Gang. And so he thought that I should have this, and I appreciate that so much. And he thanked me for my service. I am a military veteran, US Navy, and there is the unicorn for the Unicorn Gang. Charmaine sent me the next postcard, and I love this. Look at all of these patches on this main postcard. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, Charmaine, you do such a good job. Thank you. Chloe in the UK sends me the next postcard, and this is, of course, a teddy bear sitting on the beach with its pail and shovel. Wish I was there right now. Chloe, you're awesome. Thank you so much for sending that card. Ashuld sends me the next postcard, and I think this is my first ever Moomin postcard. I need to find out more about Moomins. I know I'm going to love them, but maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm going to love them, and you know, that starts a whole new hobby. So thank you, Ashuld. I love that card. Tiny Mouse sent the next 2 postcards, and Tiny Mouse has a channel. She has not posted recently. We got to change that up, Tiny Mouse. Because I love her channel so much. She does not only postcrossing, but she also does traveling. She spends time in different areas. And then the other thing she does that I really enjoy is that she does thrifting videos. And when she does the thrifting videos, she says to you, you know, what would you have purchased in here that I missed? And I love looking at the thrift stores. The great thing about the UK thrift stores is that they're the smaller ones, not these big gargantuan, you know, Goodwills and things like that we have here. And I actually prefer the smaller ones. I think the things there are curated much better. Anyway, so Tiny Mouse sent me this one. She said this one was sponsored by, not sponsored, it was, what did she say? Inspired by Haven, because of course there we have, you know, 101 Dalmatians. But the reason that she sent it to me, and there's the stamps, but look at the postmark. It is celebrating the United States' 250th birthday. But of course, this is from the UK, so I'm so thrilled that the UK was celebrating along with us. I didn't do much celebrating here. It could have been a fantastic celebration, but it wasn't. So, she also sent me this card of Mary Anning from the coast. Now, Mary Anning, the story, if you have not seen the story, but the story of Mary Anning, she loved hunting fossils. She found the first ichthyosaur, and the men all took credit for her work. The story of women in science, where the men take all of the work. I could tell you stories, things that I teach in my classes. But here we have as well a second postmark for the 250th of the United States. So thank you so much for those postcards, Tiny Mouse. I really appreciate them. The next postcard comes from Steve, and Steve sent me this wonderful beach scene. Oh, I so want to be there right now. Oh, and this is one that has the prepaid on it, but oh, I could so be at the beach right now. But Steve wasn't done. Steve sent me an amazing envelope, and in that envelope, he sent me, make sure I've got everything out, he sent a Stay Awesome unicorn, and it is a story and a handwritten note inside here. He sent this wonderful postcard written on the back. And Steve is a member of the Unicorn Gang. He doesn't have a channel, but he's a member of the Unicorn Gang. And there is the requisite unicorn on there. And then Steve also sent me stickers. So look at these wonderful animals. And butterflies. And I have been dying to use these, Steve, but I was holding on until I got this video filmed. Love the undersea animals. The next one are dogs. Steve knows about my love for my dog, Miss Haven, who's sitting right here looking out the window. And then sent 2 different unicorn sets of stickers. These ones are shiny and glittery. Sorry for all the reflection. But thank you, Steve, so much. So that is everything. I am now officially caught up with my videos for Postcrossing. I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you'll consider subscribing if you have enjoyed this. No pressure at all. I don't know what the hype button, I keep hearing about the hype button, but I watch videos on my computer and there's no hype button there, so I don't know quite what that is, but I'll take a hype if I can get it. Anyway, thank you again so much. It is always such a joy to share the things that I have received. Communication with people that we know and that we love, and from others around the world, does a lot of things. Things like opening up our views of what happens on the other side of the world, places we've only ever heard of, or maybe never heard of, right? And what it reminds me is that we are all doing exactly the same things, and we want the same things. We want to be peace. We want it to be happy, right? We want joy in our lives. Community is the #1 thing that keeps you young. I saw that on one of those shows about the blue places to live in the world. Community was the #1 thing that kept you young and living longer. So reach out and make a community. It's important. But just as important as that is to remember to get vaccinated. Vaccines save lives. We're going to be coming into flu season and into COVID season again. Please get vaccinated. I'm a scientist. I'm telling you, it's not bunk. It really isn't. Please get vaccinated. All right, friends, until I see you again next time, I promise for it not to be quite so long next time. But let me know if you think about it. Let me know if you prefer that I split Postcrossing separate from floss tube and all of that. I think that might be what I do from now on going forward. But until I see you again, please stay safe and healthy. All right, bye for now, and Haven sends her love.